guys, are you excited? I'm pretty excited, not just for this video and to really talk about it and go in depth, but for the DCS5. You guys just saw the little hype video I put together, but this stream is going to be insane, guys. Me and Brock are covering one stream, and then we have the one and only Yashan McNabb, and he's going to be bringing on Bear, TCG Tally, Golden Nova, Yu-Gi-Oh! This, it's going to be pretty great, guys. Like, what more do you want? Yu-Gi-Oh all day long, great tournament play, over 2K in prizing, most of which is cash, two amazing streams with very knowledgeable hosts. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys, but that's not why you're here. You're here for Cyber Dragon traps and how we kind of play it, why to play it, the common misconceptions, all that. This isn't just going to be a standard deck profile video. This is just a cyber trap video. I have 4 deck lists to show you guys to really talk about the different ways the deck can play and kind of the thought processes behind them. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into what is the #1 misconception of cyber traps. It goes first. That is actually not true. The idea of this deck is still to go second. You don't choose to go first. I mean, matchup specific, maybe you have to, but for the most part, this is still a going second deck. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the first deck profile. So we see this one here. This is actually Yassine656. Yassine Sali, good friend of mine, the channels, everything like that. Haven't actually talked to him in a little bit. I hope you don't mind us using the video. Link to his channel down below. This is his most recent Cyber Trap video, deck profile. And I want to show you guys this one because it's different. I chose 4 different deck profiles because they're different and there's different approaches and takes you can take to this. Obviously, Yassine being the founder of the trap build and really the original mastermind and one of the best Cyber Dragon players out there. Like, he knows what he's doing, and we see the 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Dry, 1 Naxter, 2 Hers, 3 Core. It's Cyber Trap, but you really could call it, if you want, Core Control. That's pretty much what it is. I think he would agree with me on that. It's Core Control because Core is such a crazy strong card and can do so much. And you have the 3 Emergency, 1 Cyberload, 2 Prosperities, the 1 Demise, 3 Overflow. He is huge on 3 Overflow. All of his trap builds will be playing that. 3 Ice Dragon's Prison, 3 evenly matched in the main deck because the card's actually pretty good right now. And again, this deck wants to go second. If you have to, you let your opponent build a board, you set 4 traps, and then on their turn, you break their board, and now on your turn, it's an open game state where you can take control. That's, like I said, the huge misconception with this is that you want to go first because you're playing all these traps, but you don't. You want to go second. You want to play it smart. It's a resource management game where you play a lot of really strong trap cards that can out-resource your opponent, so that way, Cyber Dragon, you just come through and OTK them out of nowhere. 3 Torrential Tribute, 3 Crackdown, 3 Strike, 3 Solemn Judgments, and 3 Broken Line. 1 Unending Nightmare. The card is really nice, not being once per turn, it's just once per chain. Extra deck, 3 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, 1 Rampage. Nova, Infinity, we'll get to that soon, guys. The 1 Zeus, Anima, Linku. We have Seeger, Lena, Verde, Puzzlemino, and Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. So what's interesting about his list overall, you're going to say Card of Demise, you can't special summon, that's fine. Again, you're playing Core Control. Core is your normal summon, that's fine. Core Control. How do you make other things that are making Nova consistently? You don't do it turn 1 consistently. You're not going first again, so you don't need to worry about it. The boss monster of this deck is more Rampage Dragon than it is Infinity. But say you have Emergency or you have Dry, or he's talked about it in his videos before, you can normal core, search out your emergency, you can search your Dry, and you set 4 traps and you pass turn. Your opponent then is going to get rid of the core, obviously, and then you can banish core to summon a Cyber Dragon, normal summon Dry, make both level 5s. Now you can go into your Nova play, or additionally, Yassine has combo videos using Puzzlemino to modulate your levels to be able to go into your Nova and plays like that. So the deck can still do a lot. Again, it takes creative thinking and just really good resource management, but this list is just playing a lot of really strong traps and consistency cards. So like you're never gonna brick with this. Like tell me how this is gonna brick. And I mean, okay, if you open the first 5 cards here, that kind of sucks. But even then, you're not necessarily in the worst position ever. I know I could at least make infinity, but you know, like that's just poor luck if you're gonna open that. Auroradon too, it's really nice because we have a bunch of machines, so it's easy to abuse it. And then you can destroy a card on the field. You can get traps back from your graveyard to your hand, so good management and resource economy that way. The next deck list we're going to go ahead on. This is one I brought to locals a couple times and just wipe the floor with people. Um, Very drastic different approach than the Yassine list I just showed you guys. This one we absolutely use the Dogmatica engine and cards like Galaxy Soldier to be able to generate advantage and go a little more aggressive and a little less reliant on the traps. And that's the beauty of the trap builds. You can play 10, 15 traps, or you can play 20 to 30 traps. Like the deck is so flexible in what you can do with it. And that's really the point of this video, is to show you guys a handful of profiles and just talk about the deck so you can see the differences, because I feel like there's a common misconception that this is what the trap build is, this is what you do, this is how you play it, and it's really not true. You can include these different engines and everything, and like the deck can just do so much if you really want to sit down and put the time into learning it. One thing that all the trap builds should have in common, however, is 1 Cyber Dragon and no machine dupe. 3 core, I went with 3 hers because again we're a little more aggressive and a little more combo oriented. So 3 hers, the 1 Naxxor, 2 Galaxy Soldiers. Then I went with the Ecclesia and the Fleur and Artifact Scythe, because normal cyber combo, we know we make Infinity Dragoons so easily. So instead we go for Infinity Dagda, and then Dagda can get us to our Scythe, where Punishment can send in Tis, and Tis can pop your own Scythe. And I can't tell you how many times my opponent just scoops at that point. As soon as I pop their card and send the Intis and then pop my Scythe, they're just like, okay, next game. 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Repair Plant. Unfortunately, not quite as consistent. This deck can brick. It's really still not common to brick, but it can, whereas like Yassine's deck, just it doesn't brick. Set 4, set 5 pass, things like that happen, but as far as bricking, the deck just really doesn't do it. Cyberload Fusion, Overload Fusion, Double Prosperity. 3 Nadir Servant, again Dogmatica. I went with 2 Overflow, I felt like it was plenty. 3 Solemn Strike, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, triple Torrential Tribute. Card is just such a blowout when it resolves, and there's certain decks that just don't have a trap negate, so then like they can't do anything about it. Double Lost Wind as a card that can come back and you can play it multiple times, and just good resource economy. Double Punishment, because again, Dogmatica, and being able to pop your own Scythe is just crazy. 3 Goes in Match. You're going to look at this and say, okay, this deck has to go first, right? No, it doesn't. Nadir is a good card to break boards. Cyber Dragons are a good card to break boards. We have Strike, Prison, Torrential. Like, all these cards can help break your opponent's board. Punishment, even Goes in Match, can break an opponent's board, because if they don't have a way to negate it and they have multiple attributes on board, they're going to lose their board because of it. Like, the deck is just so good at breaking boards, and I went with Goes in Match instead of a different one. Could have went with like There Can Be Only One, even, because contrary to popular belief, we actually can play through it pretty well, because it goes Machine, Cybers, Machine and Cybers, Plant, and then Plant and Machine, and you can actually play through There Can Be Only One rather well. But we went with the triple Goes in Match. Obviously Rivalry wouldn't work as good here, but Dogmatica's Artifacts and Cyber Dragons are all light. You just forego the Rampage, which isn't a big deal anyway. Zeus is actually even a light, so again, Goes in Match, really good. 1 Mega Fleet, 2 Fortress. I like those ratios for this current format. And again, all these lists I'm showing you guys are not necessarily from this current format. Some of them are from like last format, or the one I'm going to show you next is actually from a few formats ago. So take that into consideration too. But the basis is still there, that the deck is very flexible and there's a lot of room to play around with. Like, we just saw 2 hers and no Galaxy Soldier. Right there's 3 flex spots. There was no artifacts, no Dogmaticas. So we're up to like 10 spots already that you can just really flex around with. And there's so much you can do. 2 Rampage, I like it with the 2 fusion spells, and I had the space. 1 Titaniclad, 2 Intis. 1 Nova, 2 Infinity. I actually like those ratios more because then when you like revive Nova off your Naxter, if they pop it, you float it, and if they don't, you make an Infinity. Whereas if you revive Infinity, they pop it, you're just SOL because you can't negate it yet. The one Zeus, Almirage, and Anaconda because we have our 2-card Cyber Dragon OTK then, and the one artifact Dagda. But I'm gonna grab a quick drink, guys. You won't notice the time break, but I will, and then we can jump on into those other deck lists and see you guys soon. I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm everywhere. We are back again, you guys. Again, I'm back, I'm gone, I'm back. It's been what, half a second? I've spent more time telling you guys how I move around than I did actually doing it because the powers of technology. This is a list courtesy of our friend of the channel, Alex yugioh, Ali Khatib. He went back-to-back top 8s in the Chalice Slime Monthlies a while back. He hasn't been able to play in them recently, and he actually hasn't been very active. I'll drop a link to his YouTube down below. Again, he hasn't been very active lately, but maybe we can change that. I know he watches these videos, and if enough of you say it down below, maybe we can get him to do an updated Cyber Trap video. Maybe not, because there could be extenuating circumstances, so not to put him on the spot, but maybe, just maybe, guys, he'll make his return for you. Without further ado, though, there's 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Dry, 1 Fear, 1 Naxter, 3 Hers, 3 Core. Then again, the Dogmatica package, we do see the Ecclesia and the Fleur. A few hand traps, we haven't seen those yet, which isn't too surprising for a trap build. 3 Crow, 1 Meister. This was, oh shoot, I don't even remember. This was like 6-7 months ago, I believe, that this list was from. So it was a format where it was way more prevalent that you kind of needed some of these hand traps instead. Which again, like I said, these are not all current format, but we see another thing here already that we didn't see in the other list, and that's the inclusion of Cyber Dragon Fear, which is not a bad card at all to play. It comes off with Dry pretty nicely. Then you have your 3 Emergency, 1 Cyberload, 1 Overload, 3 Nadir, and 3 Forbidden Droplet. Again, one of those flex spots where you can play a trap or you can play Droplet. Both are very good, and well, we saw that they go with Droplets here, and 2 Overflow, so another list with 2 Overflow, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, 3 Torrential Tribute, 3 Solemn Strike, 3 Dogmatica Punishment. So again, the big common you see here is multiple overflows, which is, I mean, kind of duh. It's the trap build. And Torrential Tribute, Solemn Strike, because these are just such strong traps that you're going to see them in most of these lists. As far as other cards, you know, if you're not playing Galaxy Soldier, you're probably playing the Dry package. That's a common thing. You don't need to play Overload, but Cyberload's pretty close to mandatory in trap builds. We see 3 Punishment. I personally prefer 2, kind of like how I prefer 2 Overflow as opposed to 3. But again, you can play 3, you can play 2. You can really do it however you want to do it. Like we see here too, you can even include a few hand traps in here, and it's still, to me, like this 13 traps, that's still a trap build. 2 Chimera Attack Mega Fleets, 1 Fortress, 2 Rampage, sorry, double Intis, 1 Titaniclad. Then we see Nova Infinity Zeus, the Almirage Anima. Once again, I personally didn't play it, but Yassine and Alex both have a ton of success with it. So don't be afraid to try different things and to go outside of the box, because you never know what might just work. Alex was actually the first one that I saw playing Pot of Duality and Cards of Demise. I was going to dig back further and grab that profile, but Yassine's most recent one had Demise in it already, so I figured that kind of fulfilled that role of showing you guys. But like when Alex played the Duality and Demise at first, I was like, wait, what? And then you have to like step back and realize that version of Cyber Traps was Core Control. This version is like Cyber Trap Dogmatica. My version is more of an aggro Cyber Trap Dogmatica. Like there's so many different things and ways you can do and play, and I'm sure you're gonna have comments or questions. Feel free to let me know down below. Worst thing I can do is post an opinion that you disagree with, and as bad as that might be nowadays, I'm okay with it. I like having discussions with people about stuff as long as we all stay civil about it, and for the most part that is the case. The 1 Seeger, 1 Verde. One more list. Let me know how you guys liked this video. Should I have just give you my 1 Cyber Trap video and say this is it, this is what you could do, or is this a little more helpful, showing you guys all the different routes, and well, not all. Like I said, there's infinite possibilities, and this is another possible option. This is one that I was testing and I do like. I'm still undecided on my current like full set. I'm gonna climb the DB ladder playing this deck version of it, but this was the most recent one I had been playing, and I did like it. A few minor changes. Maybe in a while we'll do a deck profile on it, but I feel like this is another solid starting point. One Cyber Dragon, 3 core, 3 hers, 1 Naxter, 2 Galaxy Soldier. I really like those ratios. 1 Dasher, 1 Celestial. One thing I've seen a lot of people say, like, the trap build, they just can't quite get the hang of it, or it doesn't feel like up to their speed or their play style. And that's why I really do like the Galaxy Soldier package, the 2 soldier, 1 repair plant. I accept the fact that it's going to be slightly brickier and take on the risk of not just like opening hand brickier, but like being more susceptible to hand traps. And I accept it, and I know like I know the risk, so I'm okay with it. But like if you don't want that, you can cut those cards for more traps. Here we're actually playing the hero package, so we have the Dasher, Celestial, and 3 Fusion Destinies. I was debating on if I should play Scythe or not again. At this point in time, I was not. The 3 emergency, 1 repair, 1 cyberload, 1 overload, 2 prosperity. You could play 3 prosperity. I really like the 2 because I feel like after resolving it twice, I never really have the resources to do 3, because like you do 3 3, that's already 6 of your cards, or you do heaven forbid 3 and 6, that's 9. And it's not a card I need to open because it's more of a filler card. Like I don't want a 3rd soldier because I only want soldier if the rest of my hand cooperates, so I'd rather have the prosperity and grab what I need or what's going to be helpful. Like if my hand isn't very good, would I want a soldier in hand or a prosperity? Soldier is going to do what? Nothing if my hand is bad. Prosperity can get me any of these traps that can buy me a turn, and now maybe we can do something with it, you know. So I do like the 2 prosperity, 2 overflow, 3 strike, 2 ice dragon's prison. This time 3 rivalry, 3 torrential, 2 lost wind, 2 breakthrough. So again, these are just cards that you can use them, and then they also have grave effects so that you can use them again. Obviously, breakthrough, banish it to negate, and lost wind comes back. Otherwise, you have rivalry this time, and it's like, well, you're playing hero and cyber dragon. How does rivalry make sense? Well, obviously, if you already have like your machines that can lock you, but you can also use your hero pop the rivalry, and then get rid of your opponent's board that way too. Like there's still ways around it. So I do really like rivalry personally for this format. Whether you want to play the hero or not, I understand because the slight confliction. But I do really like rivalry, and this is actually one where you could really abuse. There can be only one, like with hero and machine, or warrior, sorry, heroes, yeah, with warrior and machine on board. And then when you're ready to out it, your Phoenix Enforcer can just pop that there can be only one, and then you can just play and do as you will. 2 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, 2 Rampage, the 1 Phoenix Enforcer. Again, I do actually kind of like 2 Fortress more, but especially with outplaying a Kaiju, I went with the 2 Mega Fleets. 2 Nova, 2 Infinity, because we had space for them this time, 1 Zeus, the 1 Almirage, 1 Seeger, and 2 Verde. If you have room, 2 Verde comes up so much. The card's budget now too, so like if you can afford it and you have the room, I would absolutely play 2, because sometimes that first one just forces your opponent to play a card, and now you're kind of dictating when they play their cards. And I've had games where I summon Verde, my opponent has to like negate it or pop it or get rid of it and clear it before I use its effect, because they can't stop the effect, and once Dragoon or DPE come out, they're going to be in a worse spot. And then you still have the resources to make another Verde, and then your opponent just scoops. So this is a lot of talking and a lot of information to take in. I understand that. So if you have any questions, by all means, let me know down below. Without any luck, too, Alex and Yassine will even see the video and comment on it themselves, so you can actually ask them right at the source about their lists or their current opinions on Cybertrap. But yeah, I feel like I said, the two biggest things are, it's a stun deck. It's really not like it's more of a control deck, and I don't know. Like there is a difference between the two. One's more strap your helmet on. One's more think about how you're gonna win the matchup. And this is definitely a thinking deck, not just a bulldoze my way, set my cards, not let you play type. And then, like I said, going first. The deck is still a going second deck. I think those are the two biggest misconceptions. That you just don't need to think about it, and that you go first. And well, maybe that's hand in hand the problem. And I think you guys need to really think about it and go second. But without any further annoyances or rambling, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.